Boom, boom. What's up?
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Genesee County Compassion Club show. How's it going, everybody?
Awesome, yeah. I'm doing great. I'm coming back to life.
Toby,
I was MIA
you
all
crawled
week.
out from your hibernation.
Blanket. Yeah, I was pretty I went to work and home and got the necessities, and that's about it. Like, a good thing I have a good woman, because she was shoveling the driveway, and she would like go start up my car for me. She's awesome. I didn't have to do much.
You ever see that Kingsford Edge commercial? This guy comes out and he's got his pajamas on over the top underneath his jacket, and he's like, it was all just cold and bright, and he was like, it was winter, man, it was winter. Basically he was like, you're just coming out of
that's how I
hibernation. Yeah.
Yesterday was awesome. Like, I got more done yesterday at my house than I have in the last 2 months. I've done nothing. I just let everything pile up and took care of it in one day.
Right on. That's a good day for it, man.
Yeah, the weather
Trudge through the
definitely
mud.
bring you back to life.
It's awesome. 40 degrees. Wow. Spring is here. I think, what's the date? Today is the 10th or 11th?
11th, I think.
So another 10 days we have left of the winter season.
Might as well be 80 out. It's nice. Like,
Yeah.
I want to go to the beach.
I know. It definitely brings out the spring fever. You just mentioned Kingsford, and I was like, oh, grill. Grill.
Yeah, I'm
Man.
going to make the best of it. That's for sure.
I know Farmer Dan, man, he's probably just waiting to get his grill out.
Yes, I was already out probably. He's got the tailgate down right now.
Cool, man. Well, hey, we're glad to be here. Glad to have you back in the studio, Toby.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
We got John with us as always, kicking it behind the cams. Thanks for being here, John.
The wheels of steel.
I'm spinning back and forth here in my office chair, rolling
right.
back and forth.
All right. But yeah, it's kicking it at allpointstv.com. This is the Genesee County Compassion Club show. Going to talk to you today about medical marijuana, let you know what's happening in the state, in the country, and most importantly, what's happening at the club.
Word.
So, let's see. Right now, it's the middle of March, so the upcoming events for the club, we've got the Soup Kitchen, it comes up on the 4th Friday of the month. And you guys remember that? Check in at the snack bar, soup,
Yep.
coffee bar there.
Yeah, let them know.
And other than that, we got our 420 party coming up. Talked about that a little bit last week on the show, but I know we're still looking for ideas and events that we can throw on for the party.
Yeah, we have a lot more room inside this time, like
Yeah.
last year, so we can have more things going on. Don't
Absolutely.
have to worry about the weather. That's good.
Yep, and it's not on Easter this year, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, and we are going to do it on 420, which is a Monday. So mark your guys' calendars. And despite I can't list any awesome headliner events yet for you, because you guys haven't told me what you want. But at any rate, no, it's going to be sweet. I know we're going to have some awesome food. I know we've already got the hot dog guy lined up, Mayor of
That was
Davison.
awesome.
So
I forgot about
he'll
that
be
guy.
back.
I'm hungry. I'll be out of here.
Right, that's reason enough alone to hang out. And, it's 420. I mean, you don't need any other reason than it's 420. So
Lots
plan
of
for
things to
that.
do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome day. Do you know if are we gonna be open or just for 420 party?
We're going to do it just like we have done every other 420
So we're gonna
party.
kind of get an extra day out of it. for
Yeah.
everybody. That's awesome.
That's right. It'll be an extra day.
Yeah, we don't get that ever.
Right, right. So that'll be fantastic. Looking forward to that, and you guys mark your calendars appropriately. Check.
If I have anything to do with it, we're gonna have a 710 celebration.
Oh,
Me and Sean has talked
I
about
know
it a
you
little
guys
bit. Maybe
talked
me and
about
John and Sean will organize
now you got
something.
plenty of time.
I've been thinking about a theme. I just think
4
laughter
months.
should be the theme. I think we should just
Almost to the day.
awesome. Yeah, not much planning. Plus lots of shows. I want to get back out there this year and do a lot more shows for the
Oh, right on.
go do gigs and
Spread the word.
spread the word. Yeah,
Excellent.
for sure. I'm gonna make the use out of this summer.
Speaking
I
of,
might just get some roller skates and just keep them on.
that'd be sweet. Get you some G3C spandex
Old
and some
school.
roller skates.
That'd be awesome.
Speaking of 710, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned before we were talking about before the show started today. We were talking about the new rigs at the club.
Oh yeah, lots of new
Tell us
rigs
about
and
the
space. Like the whole security portion has been all done, well lit, open glass cabinets for display. Getting a lot of new pieces in there, going fast. But we are looking for some local blowers. Do you have any really nice, expensive, intricate
Glass.
pieces? Yeah, you'd like to put on consignment up there. We
I'm
need
going to
some
specify
beautiful. Yes, glass.
glass blowers.
Yeah, so let us know. Call us up.
Remember where you are.
In a field of dreams.
Right.
The aroma in here is wonderful too. Good stuff.
Organic. Yeah, so we're looking for some glass blowers to do some special work.
Yeah, we have had some cool pieces come in and out of there real fast. We had some
Experience
ray guns.
blowers. You know, if it's like a hobby, no.
No, it needs to be a
I think
lifestyle.
I heard also that Todd, the glass blower that's usually there on 420, is going to be there again too.
Oh, cool.
So there we go.
I hope he brings back some paintings, actually.
Paintings.
He started painting.
Really?
I bought his first painting ever. I still have it up in my kitchen. It's awesome.
Oh, cool.
So I'm hoping to get another
Very
one of those.
cool. And I did notice we have some artwork there at the club. That's a couple different artists
Yeah.
are on the wall now. It's always cool to see the local work.
A little more
I love it,
colorful
man.
in there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, all right. Moving on here. We got some glass. You guys check it out at the security counter. Can't miss it when you walk in. It's beautiful. Also, more new stuff at the club. Hello, I walked in today and I smelled food. I know you guys are excited about that. We're rocking it, man. We're moving along, getting everything set up over there at the Holistic Center. And I know it won't be too long. We'll be back to getting our food in order. Smoothies, sandwiches, all the stuff you guys have been waiting for patiently, I might add. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And but it's going to be here soon. So it looks like we're already getting the food going. Once everything's rocking, we'll get our final inspection signed off. They said wait until you're fully ready. So that's what we're still doing right now, is getting those last few ends all tied down.
Yeah, it's looking
and
good.
whatnot,
Looking
but
good.
It is.
And the food they brought over yesterday was good. They brought over some samples. Yum. And I think, to my knowledge, it's like the only healthy food option around here in Flint, isn't it? I mean,
think you
every
might-
time I go, I hate it because, Taco Bell is like the healthiest option. That's pretty sad.
No, you're not kidding. I mean, on our side of the town, it's rough.
There ain't no, yeah,
That's right.
there's nothing, if you want to eat healthy.
Would
That's
you like
where
deep
you're gonna have to
fried,
go.
or would you like heavy starch?
Yeah, please, lots of ranch. Get like a bucket of ranch on the side, blue cheese maybe.
Celery. Don't forget that keeps you feeling like you did something
Right.
healthy. It's green.
Even, I seen something about McDonald's fries. They cook them in beef stock or whatever. So now a bunch of vegetarians that have been living off McDonald's fries are freaking out. 'Cause they're not
Really?
vegan. Yeah.
That's an oxymoron right there. I'm gonna eat vegetarian, probably for health reasons,
Potatoes.
but I'm gonna eat French fries
Right.
from
But
McDonald's.
it's potatoes. I'm vegetarian.
Yeah.
Just fry it up for me.
All right. Well, at any rate, it's exciting to see that stuff going down at the Holistic Center, getting all that fresh stuff in there. I know we've been getting the collective ordering down. I was talking to Dennis behind the counter. He's telling me he just got the pound of the most awesome bacon he's ever had in his life. So that's pretty exciting to hear.
Yeah, all that stuff is coming in a lot of.
Yeah, I got to tell you that
fresh
the meat
eggs.
from the farmer's market, the eggs,
Mhm.
chicken, all that stuff's available. If you didn't know that, you can also get that ordered. Pickups are on Thursday morning. You can order any time of the week. You don't have to order on Thursday. But get a hold of this sheet. I think it's going to be at the Holistic Center or at the snack bar.
Yep.
You can pick out, like we were just saying, eggs, chicken, all kinds of
Yeah,
different
good stuff.
meats.
It's definitely
dairy.
going too. Once somebody orders and gets and sees how fresh and good it is,
Oh, yeah.
they continue. So.
And I heard that we're going to be getting in the famous, renowned Culver's chocolate milk,
Ooh,
which I've been told it's to die for.
awesome.
So
I love chocolate milk. I live on chocolate milk.
yeah, watch it not come in on the truck. We're going like, what? Where's the chocolate milk? So yeah, we got some good stuff coming in. Check out the Holistic Center. Stop over there if you haven't been over there yet. The ladies will take care of you. They do a fantastic job of preparing everything, and it smelled awesome when I walked in. That's all I got to
Yep.
say. So
They're on. Erica was running back and forth. So
yeah, they're going to be in shape.
yeah.
All right, we got some news we wanted to share with you this week. Let you know what's going on in the world of marijuana, legislatively speaking. We got all these laws popping up constantly. And speaking of that, there was a new one that was introduced on a federal level yesterday. If you haven't heard about this one, it's the big new one that's been introduced. And I guess before we get into the details of what it does or doesn't do, I'd like to point out that bills get introduced all the time.
Yeah.
It's more important when they get passed. So don't get your panties in a bunch. It's not law yet by any means. So some people have been, like Toby said, is it okay to carry around CBD oil now? Like I can go to Florida? No.
Not yet.
No. So it's been introduced though, which is good. And so we'll go through some of the finer talking points here. Let me pull them up. It was introduced, like I said, it's a federal bill. So if it passed, it'd be for all states. It was introduced by a couple of big names in the Senate, so that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
It does need to have additional support if it has any chance at all of passing. And of course, when bills get introduced, if they ever do get passed, they usually go through a stage of changes. So right now it looks pretty good, but if it ever did get, like I said, to pass, who knows what it'll look like at that point. You can help determine that if you just simply take part. So you could get your state senator here in Michigan, which would be like Stabenow or Kildee,
Right.
would be in the House, senator or representative, either way, federally. But we're going to need their support if this has any chance of passing. So let me talk a little bit about what the bill contains. First off, it would change marijuana. Right now it's currently Schedule 1 on the drug list.
Right.
It'd change it to number 2. So
That's awesome. Huge.
I don't know. I'd like to see it be off the list entirely.
Well, yeah.
Since how it's not lethal.
But they're not going to take that stuff. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure AG Pharmaceutical or GW or whoever that is called up and said, whoa. Let's not make it completely available. So a number two would make it basically available for pharmaceutical companies to work with. It's still a controlled substance, so on and so forth. So it doesn't give it, a complete open book. But it's a move in the right direction.
I think it would just open a lot of people's eyes that are still close to this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Staying up, maybe even older people or whatever. I talk to older people all the time that they're just old school. They don't, they still think it's a drug. So.
And I tell you that federal drug scheduling, where it does obviously make sense to us that are in the know. A lot of people on the professional level, men and women of letter, those folks, that really does mean something to them. That it's federally scheduled, illegal substance. So to have that be changed might make a change in those people's minds, which would certainly make an impact.
Yeah.
A
a lot of people, it's sad, but until it's available at a pharmacy, they're probably not going to feel comfortable going and getting some.
Yeah, and obviously it's completely ridiculous to have it be listed as a non-medical type drug when it clearly is being used, all over the world for a lot of different medicinal applications. So, like I said, move in the right direction. I'd like to see it more, but at any rate, that's part of the bill. So from number 1 to number 2, the next thing that it does is it would allow. Let's see here. It would allow research. Well, that's part of the rescheduling thing. So if it's now pharmaceutical companies, universities, whatever, can now get grants or permissions to study this on as a controlled substance. But now they can move forward with doing that. Groups like NIDA, which is the one that is currently only doing testing to prove that it's a negative, would now sort of open up their spectrum of thinking and say, well, let's look at it for positive reasons as well. So it would open up that area. The next thing that it would do is it would allow the VA, it would allow their doctors to make recommendations for medical marijuana, which currently they're prohibited from doing so, even in states where medical marijuana is legal. So like here in Michigan.
Just because it's federal? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, just because it's federal. So right now in Michigan, like if you're a vet, you're going to the VA, you can't get a recommendation from one of those physicians because it's still illegal on a federal level.
Yeah, that's a high number. That's a
lot of
number
people
that need it.
Well, and it's a lot of folks that they're going to the doctor. That is their doctor. That's the one they're supposed to have the relationship with. Their doctor should be aware of it. He should be the one helping them make that call. It just completely makes no sense to send them to another physician for just some legal matter. I mean, that's preposterous. But at any rate, that's the way it's done right now. This would change that. So that's a good thing. Next thing that the bill does is it would allow interstate transportation of CBD oils. So while I think that could be a good thing, I think that this here is a nightmare, personally. I think that, for law enforcement to be able to decipher what has, low THC in it or no THC, when they're looking at a substance on the side of the road as they're going through a traffic stop or, maybe they're doing a drug bust, whatever, it's going to be next to impossible for law enforcement to decipher between what has CBD and what doesn't. True. I mean, if we can't get them to recognize the difference between industrial hemp and cannabis, how are you going to get them to recognize the difference between CBD and THC? Right. And, you can't visually do that anyways. It has to be done through testing. And so I think this type of, or this portion of the bill, I think it's stupid. I think it's good that it's allowed, should be allowed.
Right.
Should already be allowed. However, it is what it is. The next thing it does is it allows dispensaries and medical states to actually go ahead and do business, so they'd be able to start writing off tax expenses, stuff like that when it comes to the IRS. And in addition to that, it would allow banks to do business with these businesses.
That's good.
So in states that are allowed. So quite a few different things that are good to the bill.
Right.
So it has some positives to it. Like I said, it's only a bill, it's not law, and it's only the beginning. It's only just been introduced. So lots of time left for input, lots of time left for you guys to still make a phone call, give a little support, email, whatever you're comfortable with. Again, this is a federal bill, so don't call somebody in Lansing, all right? They don't give a rat's ass. All right, so moving on here. Next thing I wanted to mention in the news, looks like Virginia is hopping on the CBD only bandwagon.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, kind of weird. Again, I think this kind of legislation is just bonkers. Whoever came up with this is probably working for some pharmaceutical company somewhere. But at any rate, Virginia's jumping on board here. The governor says here he signed on. Let me see if I can find this thing here. Where did it go?
But it has to be
Here we go.
below 5% THC.
Yeah. Virginia governor signed the state law. So it add Virginia onto the list of medical marijuana states, first of all, because it's their first bill.
Well, yay.
So that's a good thing. However, the bill's kind of goofy. It says less than 5% THC. So obviously it has to be high CBD. And that they can have access to it as an oil form.
Yeah,
That's it.
personally
That's
don't
all it
know.
says. It's really kind of
It's
silly.
like maybe 5 strains that you could get that from without having to alter.
Well, like you're saying, I think really the ultimate thing there is that the consumer is going to be getting an altered product in some way, shape, or form. It's going to have to have been processed. I don't think they're going to find, like you're saying, flower form.
Yeah.
You know, even though that may be what they're seeking. Who knows? At any rate, again, get it back into the conversation we were just talking about, where how do you validate that? You know, there's not too many places that go out and do the testing like we do with the G3C. But
And the cop's going to hit it.
right. Whoa.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No, I got a head change off that.
Well, in addition to this conundrum here, it also presents another one in the sense that it does not give the patients any way to actually get this low CBD type medication. It allows them to have the access, but it doesn't allow them any way to actually produce it or purchase it. So
And you can't cross state
yeah.
lines yet.
People in the state that wanted to take advantage of this new law would feasibly have to travel across the country to one of the states that does allow this type of product, and then have to travel back across states that don't allow this kind of product, so thereby breaking federal law. So good job there, Mr. Governor.
Is this entrapment in some
Basically,
ways?
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, really. Yeah.
that's
but
weird.
here we go. So it's passed. It's in law. You know, and hopefully it does benefit some folks out there. I know there's folks out there that need to have this. It was done with the sole purpose of providing relief for those people with epilepsy. So I don't know if there's other conditions that they can qualify
Right.
for this low CBD or low THC type cannabis.
Maybe they're just hoping to piggyback on the crossing of state lines with, maybe when the CBD oil is passed.
if you look at Virginia, they're in a pocket over there geographically. None of the states around Virginia have medical marijuana access. I mean, New Jersey, obviously being the closest one
Right.
with a medical marijuana law, people in New Jersey still don't have a functioning medical marijuana program. You know, there's
Yeah.
no dispensaries, nobody's been licensed yet for production, so on and so forth. So, really, the folks in Virginia that do want to take advantage of this are going to have to break federal law to go
Oh,
get
yeah.
weed, bring it back, and then they've got to be able to somehow, like I said, validate that whatever product they do get illegally, when they
Yeah.
bring it back home, doesn't exceed the 5% THC.
And I'm sure they don't have good testing facilities available out there yet.
Yeah, well, and to my knowledge, like an example, here in Michigan, when the state police crime lab looks for identification factors to whether or not a product is in fact marijuana, they're looking for the 3 different types of trichomes. So they're not looking to see what percentage
Right.
of THC this is of overall cannabinoid content. They're simply looking at the structural form of trichomes to identify that all 3 different types are present as they need to be in order to validate that it is in fact cannabis and not some other type of plant out there.
Right.
But they don't go to the next level and even adapt to see how much THC is in this trichome structure. So I'm interested to know, does Virginia have the ability to test for that? Have they made the upgrade?
Maybe they are going to do the testing and you get charged. So maybe
Maybe.
that's how they're going
I
to
don't
make
know.
their money.
I don't think that they really thought about this. I think this is one of those ramrod things. I think like I said in the beginning, this is one of those ones where some guy behind the desk working really for the pharmaceutical companies went cha-ching.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that's news there. Virginia added on the list anyways, at least that's a bonus. So we got like 23, 24 states now. We're almost to a majority here in the Great Union. So,
And
all
it's
right.
happened faster than I thought, to be honest.
Yeah,
Since it's kind of tough.
right.
Yeah.
6 years later here in Michigan, So, all right, moving on here. The next state we want to mention is New Mexico. Also kind of interesting here. I mean, I tell you what, looking at these other states, it makes you thankful to have the law that we do have here in Michigan. Don't forget that, folks. I mean, like I said, New Jersey's had a medical marijuana law for, I think we're going on year number 3. And the folks there that, should be benefiting from this in that state still don't have access. No access.
Where are you going to go
I
get it?
mean, there's not caregivers out there that you can go find or anything. I mean, that's it. So be thankful for what you have. Here's another example. New Mexico, they've had their program now for 5 years. They do have a caregiver system out there, so folks are getting access in New Mexico. However, the state was supposed to license state licensed dispensaries to operate in large metropolitan areas to serve people, because obviously caregivers are limited in New Mexico just like they are here to, I think up there it's also 5 patients as well.
Is it?
I think it's very similar. And they originally set that up. They said, okay, well, in areas where, because New Mexico's spread out, I mean, this is a very rural type state.
Oh, yeah.
They said areas where there is not one of these state licensed dispensaries within at least 50 miles, you can be a caregiver. You can get a license to be a state licensed caregiver, take care of 5 patients, yada, yada, yada. Well, they never went ahead and licensed these centers. So now they're going to go through and finally get it going on. So 5 years later, here we go. And this is what they have come up with. Really, it looks like what they really came up with is money.
Yeah. What dollar sign do we put on that?
Here we go. If you want to be one of these licensed producers in the state of New Mexico, you can sign up. It's going to cost you $30,000. Well, wait a minute. Let
just
me
to
back
apply.
up. Right, 10
Yeah.
grand just to apply. All right, just to apply. If you don't get accepted, you're going to get 9 grand back. So it'll be $1,000 out the window if
For
they
trying.
say no.
$1,000 for trying.
Right. So 10 grand up front. If you get approved, now you got to pay $30,000 for the first 150 plants.
So you're 40 in.
Right. So now you're in 40, and then they want an additional $10,000 for each additional 50 plants that operation wants to have growing. So you can have up to a maximum of 450 plants as a licensed producer, and the total fee, get this, you're looking at $90,000. And looks like that's, does that say annual?
Wonder how many banks are going to get
Yeah,
one
renewals.
application. For license renewals, must pay $30,000.
I don't know. Can't really confirm that without.
Yeah, that might be yearly.
It might be annual. I'm not sure. But at any rate, you're at least going to pay it up front to get started. So $90,000 in application fees if you want to be a big producer out there in New Mexico. And, obviously 450 plants, that's a lot of plants. I don't know how many, total plants a caregiver can do out there. I don't think they have the same numbers that we have here in Michigan, even though they may have the same number of patients. I think the plant count's different.
Right.
But at any rate, 450, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like a lot because here in Michigan, caregiver's going to be capped at 72 if he's fully carded and a patient himself. So 450 sounds like a lot. I know that I personally would not want to take care of 450 plants if I had to do it all by myself.
You'd have to hire people.
Yeah, it'd be next to impossible.
Yeah.
But all in all,
There's too much room
450
for error.
plants, when you look at a commercial operation, that's pretty small.
Right.
I mean, places in Colorado are talking about 10,000 plus plants in a single operation. And if you look at, other commercial type agricultural products,
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine going to a farmer and being like, well, you can only plant 10,000 ears of corn. He's
Yeah.
going to be like, what? Or for each additional ear of corn, you're going to have to give me 3 quarters. And a
There's
horseshoe.
so much room for error. Like, it'd be different if you pay that money and you're guaranteed, but you're not. Anything could go wrong.
Well,
Your 450 plants could die off.
that doesn't
Power,
include
you
your
lose-
cost of your operation.
Right.
That's just to get the license. Yeah,
Yeah, a
Still
lot of
gotta
people
buy
are
the
going to be
car.
out.
All you got now is a driver's license. You still
Right.
got to go buy the car. Wow. So, hey,
Good luck, guys.
New Mexico, and I bet they'll have people lining up to apply for this.
I will make $1 million
To give their $1,000 donation.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's in line with some of these other programs. Illinois, their application fee is north of $30,000. Colorado, same boat there. You're looking at $30,000. I've heard the same is going to occur in Alaska, and they're just getting their program rolling up there. You guys know that Alaska is one of the states that approved recreational cannabis use for adults back here in November.
The third now?
Say what?
The third that has legal marijuana?
Yeah.
Exactly?
Well, I mean, them and what was it? Oregon, they passed it at the same time.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just getting their program going, and that's what I've heard as well. We're going to try to dig up more information maybe for our next podcast next week about Alaska, because their program's just getting started, and they're just starting to roll out the rules for, if you want to apply, similar to like what we just went through with New Mexico. But yeah, I've heard about $30,000 is what that's going to be as well. So, if you want to be a big player out there, you better have some big interest, obviously, or deep pockets. And that's really who these groups are, or who these bills are geared towards, is big money groups, angel investors, whatever. You're talking about big production. And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that there should be some room in between there for some of that Main Street type business.
Right.
We need to have more of that. Our communities are still really cleared out. You look at a lot of these small towns around, not just here in Michigan, but really around the country. We need to have more small business.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just a personal rant, but at any rate. All right, so there we go. There's the news. Man, I mean, here we are in 2015, and you got Virginia just busting through the door there with some more medical marijuana.
It is pretty insane.
Adding onto the list. And New Mexico expanding their program. Of course, we're still waiting on New Jersey to get their act together for their program. I don't think they ever will. I mean, you got Deuce Christie there. Deuce Christie. I don't know. I think that if they ever do get it going, it's going to be about money. I get the feeling that like you got to pay to play if you want to roll in Jersey.
Mm-hmm. All the play. I mean, that's
he's like doing the De Blasio type of thing. Remember the governor of Illinois? Well, you want Obama's chair? How much you got?
Yep.
Is that his name, John? De Blasio?
Yeah, De Blasio's the mayor of New York right now.
Oh, I get him confused. What was his name? I apologize.
Bavagovich or something like that. Bavagovich, something like that. That name, I can't pronounce it, but he went to jail over that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that just shows you the long line of corruption in Illinois. That's I think they have a special wing in their prisons for their officials.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about it for news here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else out there. Nope, that's about it. Don't have a whole lot else going on in the state of Michigan. The bills that have been introduced, we've already kind of mentioned those. And there's going to be a lot of talk about those as the year moves on here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to talk about them today.
Yeah.
Nah. What else we got going on in the news? Can you believe Dominic Sue's gone? He's going to the Dolphins.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not a football guy.
No.
Sorry. All right. What festivals we got coming up this summer?
Same old, same old. I'm going to Rockberry if I can get a ticket.
Is it hard to get a ticket?
They sold out like as soon as
Really?
they had Skrillex and Bass Nectar sign on. They sold out the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Rockberry's already sold out.
Yep. But my daughter is usually a vendor there, and she can get extra tickets, for help.
Okay.
So hopefully.
Is that coming up here? What is it? June or July? When did they
the
do
vendor
that?
stuff we had to have that in by the 23rd.
When is the festival?
At the end of June, beginning of July.
Okay. So, yeah,
Around July 4th, they try to get as close as possible.
Very cool. Very cool. So,
Yeah. But Drop Fest is coming back, so I'm sure we'll be down there.
cool.
The G3C, and I'm gonna look for as many local little shows as possible.
Right on.
Try to get it out there. We have more merchandise now. We still we need some hats and we need some other things.
We could do like the G3C car show, except we'll get like a big wheel, deck it out with some G3C gear, roll up there. Got some spinners on it. So,
Do I still get to wear the shorts? I want the grape smugglers to say G3C on them.
yes.
I'll wear some old socks, pull up with some green stripes on them.
That'd be awesome. And with some pot leaves.
Headband.
Yep.
Need a G3C headband.
And you need a couple wristbands.
Oh yeah, some sweatbands.
Yeah.
Totally 80s. Let's go back.
Sounds good. Cool. All right, well, I think that's about it. Festivals, I know, man, everybody's itching. This warm weather is wonderful.
Yeah, we'll
And
do everything.
you guys need to get outdoors, watch your step, obviously, with the ice and everything. But it's awesome. It's bringing on spring fever. You know what I'm saying?
Fast.
Yeah.
I'm motivated. I think I hurt myself yesterday. Doing
Really?
too much stuff.
Just doing too
Because
much.
I've done nothing but sit around and get fat and grow face hair.
Well, yeah, we've had 3 months of hibernation here, you know what I mean?
True.
So,
It was bad.
I know, and you came back to the podcast looking like Wolverine.
Yeah. I've always wanted these since I saw Jaws when I was a kid. You ever looked into a shark's eyes? It's dead, lifeless, black, like a doll's eyes.
I love it.
Yeah, I could go back to 1975 and drive a truck, perhaps. There's lots of things I could do. I could play bass for Spinal Tap. This isn't career ending.
I didn't know if you were trying to go over to the lab and start working over there or what was going on.
This is like the only thing I've never done, so I just decided to do it, and it's super comfortable. Super comfortable.
That's
Right.
and it's funny because guys talk about growing the beard out. No, I don't like doing that because and this is the first thing to do. Just get
Right.
that itch. You've eliminated the
Yeah,
problem.
I can look down. I'm not bothered. Free movement.
And if the food falls, it just goes.
Yeah.
Whereas
Slides.
it can be
Right.
a catch-all.
Oh yeah, it turns into a nest at some point, of course. And birds and stuff in there. And at night when it's cold, I curl up. I don't grab my beard hair.
Nice.
Actually, I didn't shave. This is friction. But,
A little sandpaper.
now
right,
we've got off topic.
All right. Cool. Well, hey, guys, we appreciate you joining us this week. We always love coming out and telling you what's up with everything. And, man, we're looking to get back outside. It's too nice to be indoors. Hope you guys can enjoy the weather as well. We'll be back here next week letting you know what's happening. You guys can always join us. There's a phone number. It's 248-247-5846. Call into the show. We'll answer your questions if we can. Or we'll just shoot the shit, whatever you want to do. So,
Go ahead. Just takes a second to dial us up.
old school.
Yeah.
Right.
Rotary.
Cool. Toby, it's great having you back in the studio, man.
Awesome being
Glad
back.
to see
man.
you're out of the hibernation chamber and
My
feeling
funk.
better. It's cool.
Yeah.
And John, thanks for being here today. Appreciate it, man. All right, coming to you from allpointstv.com. This is the Genesee County Compassion Club show. You guys have a great week.